Detective Holly Gibney stands resolute in front of a suburban home, with storm clouds brewing overhead, ready to unravel the mystery of a missing woman. Gibney had always felt that there were two sides to every person. The side that lived day to day, in the open, doing their best to survive in the world. And then, there was the other side, the shadow side, the part that only came out when the light dimmed. For Holly, solving mysteries was how she kept those shadows in check. It had become more than just a job, it was an act of survival. When the call came in about a missing woman named Melissa Hardin, Holly immediately sensed that this was different. Hardin wasn't just another face lost in the crowd. She had disappeared in broad daylight from a small, quiet town, one of those places where everyone knew everyone. Holly's instincts told her there was more lurking beneath the surface of this case than met the eye. The call to action. Holly sat in her small office, nestled in the heart of Ridgedale. A sharp ring pierced through the quiet, cutting into her thoughts. It was Jerome, her partner in the detective business, with the news about Melissa Hardin's disappearance. "She's been gone for 72 hours, Holly," Jerome said, his voice tight with worry. "No clues, no leads. You want to take this one?" Holly hesitated. Missing person cases always carried a weight that pressed against her chest. But something about this one tugged at her curiosity. "I'm in," she replied. Holly carefully questions Robert Hardin in his dimly lit, modest living room as tension and unease linger in the air. The investigation led her to the Hardin family's home, a modest suburban house with peeling paint and a half-wilted garden. The woman's husband, Robert, greeted her at the door. His face was etched with fatigue, and dark circles rimmed his bloodshot eyes. Holly had seen that look before, the mixture of dread and helplessness that people wore when someone they loved vanished without a trace. As she spoke with Robert, her mind raced with possibilities. Was it foul play? Had Melissa left voluntarily? Or was there something more sinister at work? Traces in the shadows. The deeper Holly dug into the case, the more unsettling it became. Melissa had been leading what seemed to be a normal life, no debts, no enemies, no apparent reasons to disappear. But as Holly combed through her phone records and emails, a pattern began to emerge. There were frequent contacts with a local bookstore owner named Evelyn Hargrave, a woman in her late 60s with a mysterious past. Holly decided to visit the shop, a cozy, dim-lit place filled with the scent of old paper and ink. Melissa was a regular here, Evelyn said, her gray eyes flickering with something Holly couldn't quite place. She had a fascination with old mystery novels. It's all she ever bought. Did she ever mention feeling threatened or uneasy about anything? Holly asked. Evelyn shook her head. No, but now that you mention it, she did seem preoccupied the last time I saw her. Kept glancing over her shoulder, as if someone was watching. That detail sent a chill through Holly. She had always trusted her gut, and right now, it was screaming that something was very wrong. Holly listens intently to Evelyn Hargrave in the shadowy bookstore, where mystery and secrets surround them. A hidden connection. As days passed, the case took an even darker turn. Jerome found a set of surveillance tapes from a local gas station that showed Melissa on the day she vanished. In the footage, she was seen arguing with a man, his face obscured by a hood. The interaction was brief, but the tension between them was palpable. "Do we know who this guy is?" Holly asked as she watched the grainy footage again. "Not yet," Jerome replied. "But we're working on it." Holly couldn't shake the feeling that the bookstore owner, Evelyn, knew more than she was letting on. Her intuition had never failed her before, and this time was no different. She decided to pay Evelyn another visit. When she arrived at the shop, it was closed. Holly peered through the windows, but everything looked undisturbed. She turned to leave when she noticed a flicker of movement inside. Someone was there. Into the depths. Breaking into a darkened bookstore wasn't Holly's style, but desperate times called for desperate measures. She picked the lock quickly and stepped inside, her senses on high alert. The place was eerily quiet, save for the faint rustling of pages in the wind. Suddenly, she heard footsteps. Holly moved quietly toward the back of the store, where she found Evelyn standing near a stack of old, dusty books. The older woman didn't look surprised to see her. "I knew you'd come back," Evelyn said, her voice calm. "You're not like the others. You see things, don't you?" "What do you know about Melissa?" Holly asked, keeping her voice steady. Evelyn's expression shifted slightly. She was drawn to the wrong things. Some knowledge is too dangerous to pursue. But she couldn't let it go. Holly's pulse quickened. "What kind of knowledge?" "The kind that leads you into darkness," Evelyn replied cryptically. She found something she shouldn't have. As Evelyn spoke, Holly's mind raced. There was more to this than she had initially thought. Melissa hadn't just vanished, she had been pulled into something far more sinister. The revelation. The case took a chilling turn when Holly found herself standing in the basement of the bookstore, surrounded by old, cryptic books and strange symbols etched into the walls. It felt like stepping into another world, one where the rules of reality no longer applied. As she explored, Holly came across a notebook that belonged to Melissa. The pages were filled with notes about a secret society, hidden beneath the everyday facade of the town. The society was involved in ancient rituals that were meant to summon something dark and powerful. It was clear now, Melissa had stumbled upon something she shouldn't have, and it had cost her her life. In that moment, Holly knew that the truth was far worse than anyone could have imagined. The town, the people, it was all connected to something much larger, much darker. Holly and Jerome analyzed grainy footage from a gas station, searching for clues about Melissa's last moments. Confronting the shadows, armed with the knowledge she had gathered, Holly returned to the bookstore, determined to confront Evelyn once and for all. The older woman didn't deny anything. "It's too late for Melissa," Evelyn said, her voice cold. She knew the risks. "But it's not too late for the others," Holly replied, her tone firm. "I'm going to stop this." Evelyn's eyes darkened. "You can't stop what's already in motion. The society has been here long before you were born, and it will continue long after you're gone." Holly's heart pounded in her chest. She wasn't afraid of shadows, but this was something else entirely. She knew she had to act fast. The final stand. The climax of the case unfolded in the dead of night. Holly and Jerome gathered the evidence they needed to bring down the secret society. But as they moved in to expose them, they found themselves surrounded by members, people they had known for years, people they had trusted. It was a fight for survival, a race against time to stop the darkness from spreading. Holly faced Evelyn one last time, the weight of everything pressing down on her. "You can't win," Evelyn sneered. "The shadows always win." But Holly knew better. She had faced darkness before, and she wasn't about to back down now. In the end, it wasn't just about solving the case, it was about confronting the deeper darkness that lurked within every person, the darkness that threatened to consume them all. Epilogue. Light in the darkness. Holly sat on her porch, staring out at the horizon. The case was over, but the shadows lingered. She knew they always would. But for now, there was peace. She had done what she could to keep the darkness at bay, and that was enough. For now. Holly uncovers dark secrets in a foreboding basement, reading from Melissa Hardin's notebook amidst strange symbols and ancient books.